Let's wait for a few people to join us. Welcome to yet another episode of the Author Collaborative. As always, I will have another guest on this episode where I'll be talking to them about their book, and they will also be talking about my book. It's going to be a fun conversation. Do stay tuned. Hello, Shubhi Malik. Hello, Suhi B. Malik. Thank you. Thank you for joining. How are you? Do stay tuned as we wait for my guest to join us, and then we can begin today's episode. Oh, we have her with us. I'm just going to add her. Hello. Hi, Supriya. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All good, all good. So, before we begin today's episode, I just want you to introduce yourself in brief so that the people have an idea of who you are.
Okay, so I'm Supriya Parulekar. I'm a script writer. I'm an author and author of 9 books. Basically, I
Wow.
recently released a book on Kindle, Amazon Kindle, Miss Manali and the Missing Tiara. And I write scripts for the short films and for the TV shows, for crime shows, basically. So I
Wow.
enjoy writing thrillers. Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. And that element of the thrill is there in your book, which I have also read. Before we go any further, I want the audience to know which book we are talking about. So let me just turn the camera and show them the book cover. So this is the book we are talking about, Miss
Oh,
Manali and the Missing Tiara. And of course, the favorite part for me in the book is my name in the title itself. Yeah, I'm quite self-obsessed like that.
it's a great place, Manali. I've been there and I enjoyed.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. And the way you have described it in the book is also really, really, it wants you to jump right into the pages and go to the place.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Uh,
Thanks.
so let us jump into the book right now because obviously we can't go to Manali. She's
Yes.
this, someone is saying she's the best about you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Pritika.
Okay, so I'm going to read out a few passages from the book so that people get an idea of why we are talking so much about the book and what it is all about.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm going to read out this page 21 because that's one part that I really liked. Yes. Okay. Uh, Let me just till the time you can answer the audience if they have any questions till I find the particular passage that I'm looking for to read out.
So can I read a poem of
Yeah,
yours?
yeah, sure, sure. Please,
I
please
can
do.
do that, right?
Yeah.
So Manali is a poet, and she has written a book, a piece of mind for peace of your mind, right? So I loved all her poems. There is a
Thank
poem for
you.
every emotion, and there are a couple of them that I would like. I liked. I mean, I liked all, but some are my favorites. But one is my favorite, which I will read. Scarred for life. A scar on the face, big, ugly, and visible. It made people notice and ask. Some with concern, some with curiosity and gossip. Are you all right? Does it hurt? What happened? Over time, it healed and the pain was gone. But something remained. What caused the pain? The person who caused it, the words that led to it, the actions that came before and after it, that continued to give her a scar, that got bigger day by day. Yet, sadly, nobody noticed. Neither asked out of concern, nor for mere gossip. And I like that banded at the end
Yeah,
of the
the clip art of the band-aid, it goes really well with
yeah,
the emotion that we are trying to show in the poem.
yeah, it's really good. I mean, it makes its point. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We have Vani here. Hello, Vani. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining. Hello, hello. Yes, so I'm going to read out this particular passage from Supriya's book, which I really like because it's that point where you are like, wow, my interest is peaked now. I want to read ahead.
Yeah.
So it goes. Ayush gazed at her in wonder. The girl was like a high security safe, enigmatic and mysterious. He loved solving a mystery. If not for the family business, Ayush wanted to be an undercover agent or join the Secret Service. It was easy for him to get her name as he had recognized the car that came to receive her at the airport. He had deduced that she was staying over at Brookfield High, but he didn't want spoilers. He wanted the mystery to unravel at its own pace. He smiled and winked at her and patted the chair next to him, pleading for her to sit. She was an enigma, not an open book. She was not like other women who threw themselves at him. She kept her distance and didn't care that he was a millionaire. So this is a particular scene where they are just getting to know each other. They have seen each other for the first time, and you are also kind of curious about how what it will lead to for both of them. So
Yeah.
that's in the initial stages of the book, and it just builds your curiosity. You want to know what will happen in the story. So Supriya, based on my reading of the book, I had this one particular question that was constantly on my mind because not only is this like a mystery story, but it also has elements of a traumatic childhood, and the lead character has had some bad experiences in her childhood, which play a major role in shaping her character as an adult. So I want to know about that lead character and how you went about writing her and what kind of personality traits you gave her, what kind of research went into developing her character.
Okay, there was not much research involved because bullying as such is a very universal phenomenon. We
Hmm.
know, we have been through it. I mean, most of us have been through it, and most of us still go through it. So we know what is there. So I just centered my character around that thing. I needed to give her something, some flaw or some personality trait. I wanted to give her that.
Hmm.
So that's how the bullying part came in. And thing is that I never research my characters, Manali. I never like.
That's so amazing. I'm really impressed by that because if I am developing a fictional character, in order for myself to make it authentic, I have to read a lot about what kind of personality traits I'm giving them, what kind of an experience
Okay.
I'm writing about. Yeah.
And I never do that because I don't find the creation process at all challenging. Creating a character, I don't find it challenging. In fact, I enjoy it. I enjoy creating new characters and giving them these little quirks and little something to take the story ahead. And I'll make them more interesting because I think the plot makes it more interesting, makes the
Yeah,
character interesting as
that
we
is true.
go. Yeah. So thing is that, and basically the search that is involved is where it is based, the place. Like
Hmm.
here, I
Hmm.
use Manali, so I wanted to be as much realistic as possible.
Yeah.
So थोड़ा research उधर गया फिर I have been to Manali, so I know the place a bit. So whatever I remembered, like gathered from my memories, I had been there long ago. So whatever I gathered from the memories, I put everything in there. I created a fictional place, Brookfield High, and then the
Hmm.
coffee shop because there are a lot of coffee shops, but the coffee shop placing the valley. So everything was fictional, but I wanted to give it a realistic this note to it.
Yeah, and when you talk about the boarding school, Brookfield High, you do get that there is that aura when you are reading about that particular school in the story that, hill station pe aisa boarding school hota hai. It's located
Yeah.
near the valley. There is a particular view which is very fascinating. There are bits and corners in the boarding school where you get the view of the entire valley, and it's
Mhm.
very beautifully written. So kudos on that.
Yeah. Thanks. So that I like to get that research part right. Otherwise, I'm okay. Characters I can manage. I mean,
Yeah, that's
like
wonderful because I'm completely different. This just goes on to tell us that each writer has their own way of writing stories,
right.
reading stories, and
Hmm.
their own form of research that goes on into writing
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, right. So now taking this ahead, I want to ask you, what is your process of writing a poem? Because poem is completely different than writing a book. So what are the
So
challenges?
So for me, the poem writing process is very, firstly, I cannot force it. The ideas don't come to me when I'm trying to, specifically sit down and think about a topic or something like that. They come very organically to me. The topic that I would want to write about or a particular theme that I want to work on, they come very organically to me. And very randomly. It can come when I'm reading a book. It can come when I'm, watching a movie, or it can also come when I'm working out. So it's like that spark clicks in your mind, and you are like, oh my god, yes, this is a good idea. I can make a poem out of it. So writing of that poem takes anywhere between 20 minutes to a couple of hours. But when that idea comes to me, it's very organic. What I do when that idea comes to me is I immediately jot it down somewhere, because people say that you will remember, but it's all a myth. If you're not writing down your idea, it will go in a second. So you have to put it down somewhere. So that's kind of my process. When the idea comes, I put it down somewhere. But when I sit down to write it, it takes me about 20 minutes to a couple of hours to, get the entire poem in a complete format.
Okay, so I think the process is the same. Like we jot down the ideas, and only the novel takes a lot of time, but then poem happens in like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, but that also depends again on the topic and kind of poem I'm writing. 20 minutes is the least. But sometimes it also takes 2 hours, or sometimes half a day, or 1 or 2 days also. It depends on the kind of poem you're working on.
And
so,
also depends on the inspiration also. Maybe you have lost your inspiration or something, and then it comes back.
Yes,
it takes
yes,
time.
definitely. Yes. So mood and idea and setting everything, it has to be a combination of everything.
So it's not much, pretty much different. It's the same. So after all, we are creative people. So
So that brings me to my another question that I had in mind while reading your book, because we have many female characters who are very strong, who have very strong personalities, and one particular female character which was very likable was the protagonist's best friend. She was trying to make her a better person. She was always there to support her, and she was also trying to warn her ki ye mat karo, wo mat karo, this is not good for you. But then there is this particular character from her childhood who has played a huge role in the traumatic experience that she has had as a child, as a student of that school. And that particular character, Veena, when I was reading about her, I was able to recall so many women I know who don't speak out against, the wrong things that they are seeing around them, and mutely accept it just because their partner is engaging in it. And they also encourage their partner to, continue doing it. So what went on in your head while developing a character like Veena as opposed to a character like the protagonist? So what kind of thought process was there in that particular character?
Basically, I was not aiming to develop Veena's character so much, but like where she is now, where the character is now. It happened was that as the story moved on, like my characters talk to me, I feel. Like that is, I think, every author's process. The characters do talk and do take the plot ahead. So somewhere, Veena's character became very challenging. Like I had to spend an entire day just to try to understand that where do I take her now. Like she's always there, passive aggressive kind of a person, always with the group, always with Karthik and with the other friend, and she's being a part of this gang of bullies through the school years, and then growing up, and then she falls in love with Karthik, and she marries him, and she worships him, and she doesn't believe that he can do anything wrong. Somewhere I had to break her. That point came when she has a daughter, and daughter has her own set of emotional problems. Her daughter is socially awkward. So now when she sees her daughter struggling in school, she realizes what she has done to the protagonist. Now like it's come full circle.
And I really like that part, giving the character traits of the protagonist to the child of the problematic people. That was like a wonderful twist. It was like, ab samajh mein aaya tumhe.
It just happened. I was not at all planning for it. And I knew that it was right when I did that, when that scene, when I introduced the daughter, and I knew that this is Veena's character is going to, her graph is going to go up now.
But one particular thing, I think I have written it in my review also, which I did not like. I'm sorry, but I wanted to see where Veena's character went from there. After she puts her foot down and tells Karthik that this is wrong. This is not something you should be doing, because we have a daughter now, and who also has a personality like the protagonist. So I wanted to see that particular part. It would have been a small win for me. Go
Uh,
girl, yeah. This is the character growth that we wanted to see.
what? Yeah, I didn't write that. Right, right.
Yeah. Another thing is that the two male characters. We have Karthik and we have the lead protagonist, the brother of the lead protagonist. How did you give them opposing personalities? We see them that they have grown up in the same family, they have the same kind of upbringing, but they are so different. And what was your thought process behind that?
So growing up, Karthik had his own set of problems. He was
Hmm.
always violent child.
Hmm. Hmm.
So he tortured pets, he tortured animals. So he's always been that kind of a person. And Ayush has always been someone who is obedient, who
Hmm.
is in good books of his grandfather. Growing up without parents has really hit
Hmm.
him.
Hmm.
But not Karthik is in his own world.
Yeah.
So that is what makes him different from Ayush. Ayush is the hero, and Karthik
Hmm.
is the anti-hero. So,
Yeah.
so it was not very difficult, but
But
Karthik,
does this work generally? Because as a writer, I have also seen this, and I also do try to put that particular negative or gray shade character in there to show probably that how good of a character the lead protagonist is. Was that intentional here also?
no, it was not intentional. It was the demand of the story, and I did it. It was never intentional as such. Because
Okay.
then I was like I wanted that emotional bonding also between
Hmm.
Karthik and
Hmm.
I wanted to show that Ayush can do anything for Karthik, and
Hmm.
Karthik also can be very protective about Ayush, which he
Hmm.
was. He was trying to
Yeah, he was.
protect him from this girl who he thought she was stalking him and she was
Yeah,
troubling
yeah.
him. So that wouldn't have come if they were just friends. There had to be a
Hmm.
blood between them,
Yes.
and then the
Right.
hero.
That's wow. Yeah. That is
Yeah.
such a well thought out process. Wow, I'm impressed. So yeah, that had to be there. There had to be a blood relation in order for them to have a deep bond. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, so that's. I think if you have a story, Manali, then
Yeah.
it happens. It falls in place. It falls into place.
Woo.
Everything.
That I agree.
Yeah. So now I'd like to ask you one question. Were you ever humbled or overwhelmed by any poem that you wrote? Okay, you wrote.
That I wrote. The one I can think of spontaneously right now is one poem in this particular book itself. It's titled "Hello, Old Friend," and it focuses on the emotion of anxiety. So when I'm talking about it, I refer to anxiety as an old friend who has always been there, and it's difficult to let go because it's now a part of my personality. So when I am talking about that particular emotion, I address anxiety as my friend, and recall the stages of my life and moments from my life when I felt the most anxious, and it affected my personality in one way or the other. So that was a little difficult for me to write and overwhelming because I was recalling all those moments which were not very easy to go through. And yeah, that kind of felt made me emotional. But
Yeah.
then I have always heard from writers that if you are writing an emotional piece or writing something compelling, and if it doesn't make you cry, then it's not going to make the reader feel
Right.
any
Right.
emotion also.
Right. So when I read your poems, I feel that you really have experienced all those emotions. Like not necessarily all emotions, but most of the majority of them, what you have written, it's really directly from your heart.
Yeah,
And
it is.
I'm not I'm not a I don't read poems or anything. That's not like I'm not a huge reader of poems or anything, but I read your book.
Thank you. So kind of you, yeah.
So, yeah, I stop myself. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
every emotion that a human can feel in his entire life is there, is there.
Thank you so much. It makes me feel so good when people tell me that they are not poetry lovers or they are not even readers or writers of poetry, but my poetry resonated with them. It makes me feel
Yes.
really good because I have really tried to put it in a way that is understandable, acceptable, relatable to all kinds of people, whether they are poetry readers or not, or whether they are any kind of readers or not.
It's very write a poem. I mean, I started off writing poems, but I couldn't. I mean, I can't write everything in a concise way. I have to, like, spread it out there.
Yeah, and for me it's challenging because I struggle with longer forms of writing.
So okay, we compliment. That's
Yeah.
okay. So for you, it's like for you, it's like being a poet or an author that excites you. Are you coming up with a book or something of your own? Like, what is it?
Huh, thankfully I have the book here only. So this was my debut novel, Love Triangle,
Oh
and
yeah.
this is the only novel that I have written so far. Uh, Having said that, poetry is something that comes very naturally and organically to me, but it is the content creation and creative process that excites me more than anything. It doesn't matter what form or genre that I'm writing in, just the putting my ideas into a form of writing, that's what excites me more. And poetry is something which I have done for the longest period, so uh, it's a feel good factor for me. But since I've written only one novel and I'm in the process of writing the next one,
Huh.
it excites me more because of the novelty factor in it, because it's something new.
Okay, okay. I'll just let my cat out. So sorry. Get
No
up.
problem.
Sorry.
No issues.
Okay. Yeah. We're back. You can see
Yes,
me, right?
yes. All good. Yeah, the novel writing process is more exciting for me currently because it's something new and I'm trying it out for the second time only. I've only
Oh,
written one book so far. Yeah.
oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
So, like, okay. So, how do we like go ahead now?
Yes,
Let's
yes,
go.
yes, yes.
Yeah. I'm
So
sorry. I was
one last question I have related to the book is, how long did it take for you to write this particular book? And do you believe there is a particular time frame that one should dedicate to a book?
I think particular time frame is like 6 months you should give yourself to write a book. Otherwise, that excitement and the connection with the book is gone.
Hmm.
Not more than 6 months.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
for this, I think I wrote this book in 2 months. I wrote it in.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is very impressive.
I was very scared, to write this, approach this topic. Romance is something that I generally stay away from. Romance
Oh.
as a, I stay away.
Okay.
So it was a bit, I found it a bit daunting task, to write it. But then when I started writing, it just, I enjoyed the process basically. And then it
Yeah.
happened, 2 months I was able to do it completely, like finish it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Is the record.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, I have also written my love triangle in 3 months, so I understand that when you are excited about something and you have the idea fresh in your head, you
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 want,
can definitely finish it in 6 months, within 6 months.
yeah, you want to just put it down,
Yeah.
with
Okay. So now we do the rapid fire round. What we will do is I will ask you one question and then you can shoot me the next question. Go
Okay.
like that. Okay? Yeah. Let me just open the questions that I had for you. Did we have any questions in the comments so far? Um, जो ट्रू इंस्पिरेशन है होता है वो ऐसे ही मिनट्स में आता है वेरी ट्रू वन यस व्हेन एन आइडिया स्ट्राइक्स it's always organic, I believe, at least for the people who have been writing for a while. The ideas hit them very organically, and that then becomes a habit that whenever you are struck with an idea, just jot it down.
But then jot it down and you take it ahead, you just don't
Yeah.
leave it there.
हाँ वो otherwise that idea will
So that
come
is
and
where
go.
comes like how long does it take to write a book. So if you
हाँ,
are really enjoying that process, if you really seriously considering writing on that idea, developing it further, I think you should just do it in 6 months and just finish it off. That
हाँ.
is what I. Then you can edit it. Otherwise, you're not going to do it ever. You'll not
Yeah,
be
at
able
least
to.
the first draft you finish within six
Yes,
months. Otherwise,
yes. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. Like there are so many first drafts in my laptop, incomplete drafts, which I have back to because I know now that it's gone.
okay, Supriya, my first question to you in the rapid fire round is urban or rustic? Your ideal place to call home.
Rustic and
Okay.
away, like go where there's a beach and a brick house with books and wine and of course Netflix.
Right.
And occasional
Internet तो
friends,
चाहिए.
yeah, coming over and spending time with my loved ones. That is
Yeah,
my idea of and
very,
write,
very.
of course, and write, keep writing. And
Yeah.
I'm never going to stop writing.
Yeah. Okay.
So, question for you now. Okay. So, cozy nook or coffee shop to write a poem?
Uh, for writing a poem, probably a cafe, but for writing longer forms, a cozy nook, because I have to sit for a longer period. No, there.
Good. Okay, somebody said wine, red or white? Red.
For
Okay.
me, it's fine.
Yeah, okay. Acharya is asking. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My next question to you is very interesting. The last book you read and what you liked the most about
So, the last book that I read, mm, I read Freckles by Cecilia Ahern.
it. Okay.
And what I liked about it is it has a it's a brilliant first person narrative.
Okay.
Okay, very emotional and gripping, and it's at the same time it's humorous and it's provocative also.
Hmm.
So she like it wants us, it makes us understand that life goes on even if there is loss and pain around you. In spite of that, like the
Wow.
author goes through a lot of things in her life. She's
Hmm.
being she has this complex about herself. She has a lot of freckles on her face, on her hands. So I think she, from that pain, that her pain exactly, like her pain has been shown in this book. It's a very
Okay.
gripping tale, and I loved it. I mean, the beginning was only very hard hitting. If
Oh,
you
okay. I will definitely check this book out. Oh,
yeah,
what is the title?
freckles,
Freckles by Cecilia Ahern, right? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I have you now, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, how do you manage? Okay, so no. So writing lyrics similar to writing poems, or is it different? What's the process like? So, like,
Uh,
someone asks you to write a song, so would you be able to do it?
I think I can, but I do believe that they are very different. If you are, writing a song, it requires a particular understanding of the setting, what situation where you're putting the song in, if it's for a movie. Uh, and no, yeah, I don't think poetry and songwriting is very similar because you also require some understanding of music, which
Music.
I do not have. My understanding is limited to listening to songs and humming them, as per my mood.
Have you ever tried writing? Have you ever
Uh,
tried writing?
no, but I did have somebody who approached me to turn one of my songs, my poems, into a song. So that was kind of interesting, and that intrigued me. I tried, but it's not something that's as appealing to me as writing poems.
Okay. That appeal part is different, of
Yeah,
course. But,
yeah,
okay. So the process is different, you're saying.
yeah, yeah, definitely different.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, right. Cool, cool. So, should I ask you, or are you?
Yeah, I will ask you my next question. Just a minute. So, if you had to choose a co-author for your book, who would it be and why?
Co-author. I think writing for me is a very personal process, you know, and I won't be comfortable working with another author, at least on a book. For
Hmm.
scripts, that's a different matter because it's a completely a different structure. But for a book, I feel that I won't be able to work with any other writer or a co-author for that. Fiction, at least. Non,
Okay.
I can at least I can give it a thought. Non-fiction, but
Yeah, so I am also like that. I don't think two people can, creative thinking can match somewhere in
yeah,
writing a
right.
book
Not,
together. If
but
it's
a
an
book.
anthology where you are putting together different stories or poems, that's a different matter. But if you're working on the same story together, I don't think that level of understanding can be reached.
No, no, it can't. It can't. Absolutely can't. So, uh, so I would like to ask you, I have always been, I started off writing poems, okay, in college, since college. When in college, I was writing poems, and I did not do that well into it because I don't know where to start and where to end. Like
Hmm.
being an author, I knew I was going to write something big, like books or anything,
Hmm.
but not poems, definitely. But I have written poems. I have, and I would like to ask you, how do you manage to put all your imagination, and your feelings in that concise form? How do you do it?
I think it's also a major part of my personality where, if I'm doing a task, I want to finish it as quickly as possible. So maybe that also shows in the form of writing that I do, because I can't keep going back to a particular piece for more than a week, or that's just the kind of person that I am. I want to finish the task at hand as quickly as possible. Maybe that's how I'm able to write concisely, because I have FOMO. I want to finish it. Constantly khatam ho jaye, so I can move on to the next task.
Oh, oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Justifiable. I mean, I can get it completely. You, how did you write your first book then?
Oh, that's a story for another day, because my first book is a collection of poems which I have been writing since I was a teenager. And then, probably the last poem that I wrote was right before submitting the manuscript to the publisher. So,
Got it. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
so my next question and last one is no, the second last one. A
Right.
book whose adaptation you are excited about and why?
Shantaram.
Oh yeah, I am also very excited because I don't. I have waited for the longest period for that
It's
adaptation to come out.
that book.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it was unending when I read it. It
yeah.
was not ending only. It was going on and on and on. And suddenly I saw the trailer.
Hmm.
Like, okay, I want to know how they are going to put everything together, or are they going to use what bits are they going to use from the book?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm really excited about that.
I read this book probably 15 years ago. Oh my God, am I giving
Yes,
out my age? Yeah.
me
Huh.
too. I've read it long time. I mean, I don't
Huh.
remember.
So
Yeah.
I was in degree college. I remember that much, that I was in degree college at the time, and at that time it was one of the thickest book that I read, besides Fountainhead, which I read after Shantaram. So that's another topic. But when I was reading it, I started looking online. कभी आ रहा है इसका adaptation? And from that moment, I have been waiting for that adaptation to come out. So I am also very excited, especially to see how they pan out the characters, who have they taken for to play
Yes,
that particular character, and what bits have they chosen from it. I especially want to see how they portray Bombay, and that's the thing I'm most excited about,
there are
because they have to go back in time. No, they
there
have
are
to show.
okay, they are like the protagonist stays there, right, in the
Yeah.
slums, and his
Huh.
life.
So, huh.
Yeah, he's studying
This is one of the books where Bombay is like the old time Bombay of the
whole time.
yeah.
Right.
It's been shown so magnanimously. You want to see that on screen. So I'm
Yes,
also excited about that.
very excited. I don't know which platform it is coming to because I didn't get that movie or something. I don't know, but I hope Netflix takes it or
Yeah,
it's
Netflix has to, yeah,
get
because this is it's the book is a bestseller. I mean, of course it is.
anything about it. And from a foreigner's perspective, I would really want to see how they portray India on that thing from their point of view. Okay, so is there any other form or structure of poetry you want to try, like haiku है, फिर
Uh-huh. So in this particular book also, I have not mentioned the poetry forms, but I have used many forms of poetry, that
yeah,
I was trying to explore.
there is
Uh,
not one single length that you have followed.
yes. And actually I wanted to mention, but then I wanted to keep it a little, mysterious also. That's why I didn't mention the poetry form that I have used. But at least for the first 30 poems, I have used a poetry form which I was trying to explore, and I really enjoyed trying them out for the first time. I had not done those. And if you give me a new poetry form, I am definitely game for trying it out. Poem में कुछ भी दे दो मुझे. I am always excited to try.
Right, you have a haiku that you can narrate, like recite to us
Oh
offhand.
yes, actually, in fact, yesterday only I wrote a haiku series. It's a really funny one.
Okay,
थोड़ा सा fun element है
I'm
उसमें.
here.
So the poem is titled "A Little Birdie Told Me" और उसके नीचे subtext है "Mind Your Own Business."
Okay.
So it goes like this: disguised in our names, doing your dirty business. Call it something else. Not interested. Idle talk, hearsay, headless, gossip, grapevine. Say he, she, they, them. Just use their name or gender. Anything but bird.
So good.
So, sometimes I get this thought in my head, why we use the names of different species to try to tell what we are trying to think, or the thoughts that are going through our head, like a little birdie told me, monkey business, dog eats dog, busy as a bee. तो ऐसा ख्याल आया मेरे दिमाग में कि उनको भी तो नहीं अच्छा लगता होगा, कभी उनके कॉन्टेक्स्ट से सोचो.
Yeah. This is good. I liked it.
Yeah. So my last question to you in the rapid fire is a character from your story you would never want to meet, and why?
Enjoying your haiku. She's laughing.
Thank you, Ani.
Okay, so a character that I would never want to meet and why.
Hmm.
Okay, so I want to say something very profound here. Like, whenever an author writes a story, or
Hmm.
when he creates a character, or when he writes a book, basically, we put in our very deepest and darkest, intimate thoughts and feelings into the story. You know,
Yes.
so I feel that my every character from the stories that I have written, okay, it has my emotional DNA in it. So I would never not want to meet them. I would really want to meet them.
So that gives me another thought. When I finished writing my uh, debut novel, Love Triangle, I wrote it while I was here in the Netherlands. And after writing that book, when I was visiting India for the first time, I happened to visit a few spots which I have mentioned in the story, and I was thinking back to the characters and wondering, शायद कहीं दिख जाए कोई ऐसा मेरा character. Does that
Uh,
happen with you?
uh, no, I don't want. Most of them are very dark. I don't. I like to read them in the books only. That's it. But
Okay.
yeah, when I visit a place like Manali, which I have constructed from my imagination, then there's this book, One Tequila, Two Tequilas. It's also a romance. So there I have written about Ladakh, Leh Ladakh, a
Hmm.
journey where the
Okay.
characters go on. So everything is research based. Okay, I haven't been there, but now in a reverse to your question, I would like to go there. I'd like relive the moments that I have created in my book.
So that happened with me when after I wrote Love Triangle, and because I have mentioned many iconic spots of Bombay in the story, when I was visiting Mumbai after writing the book for the first time, I was like, हाँ यार मैं यहाँ पे हो सकता है ऐसा कोई character हो.
So the living right now, like it's an ideal setting of
Yeah,
romance. And
yeah, it is.
so, is there any romance book happening or
So
book of
yes,
poems, romance?
this book Love Triangle, it was a rom-com, contemporary fiction romance story. And second book that I'm currently working on, it's a spin-off from this book only. So there were two characters in the story who had their separate love story going on. And many readers came back and told me what happened there. We want to know their story also. So now I'm working on the spin-off.
And do it.
Yeah, this was
It
such a
will
fun
go
session. Yeah, I think I was laughing most of the time, and that reading that haiku was really the highlight probably because a
yes,
lot of people have said,
yeah,
laughed and said loved it, and true. Thank you so much.
yeah, yeah. It was really a very wonderful. It was wonderful session.
Supriya, have you thought of writing your biography? Somebody is asking me.
I know who this person. No, I'm not writing my biography. I'm not ready.
This particular person had also asked in the comments about. Now I'm recalling. They had asked, when is your next book coming out?
I just now wrote one book. Okay, I'm working on another book right now. So hopefully, I'm giving it 6 months time, as I said. So
So early 2023.
yes, early 2023. I'll be submitting the manuscript, hoping to submit the manuscript by end of 2022, if everything goes well. If my
Wonderful. I am
inspiration,
really looking
if
forward to
my
that.
inspiration is still there, and if I don't have writer's block, then yeah. And
Taro Gateway is saying hi. Hello. Thank you for joining. We
thanks.
are at the end of the session now, so sorry. You have joined in a little late. Waiting for 2023. Yes, I am also waiting for 2023, so we can read Supriya's next book. By that time, my spin-off for this novel will also be out, my second novel. So we can do this again, and this has been so much fun. I
Yes,
really enjoyed talking to you, Supriya. It was so wonderful getting to know you and learning so much from you about writing. Thank you for joining me, and thank you everyone else also for
let
joining us.
let me also say thanks to you, please. I do have time, and
Yes,
thanks
yes.
for joining today for this session. And it was really fun. Thanks for having me. I mean, thanks for this collab.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was,
it was really fun.
yeah.
And after reading your book, I was really excited to talk to you because I enjoyed it. Major reason being, I have already told you. Also because
But
it has my name in the title. Lovely session. We'll start reading your poems. Thank you so much. And this video will be up on my Instagram TV and also on my YouTube channel. For those of you who are not able to catch the entire conversation, you can always go back and check it. And thank you, Supriya, once again. Have a great weekend. Hopefully, we can do this again sometime.
bye.
Bye.
You.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care.